On the news tonight, former President Goodluck Jonathan's aide reacts on FG's looters list. In business, Nigeria records 2.14 trillion naira fiscal deficit in 2017. And on the foreign scene, South African president pays tribute to Winnie Mandela, who dies at aged 81. Good evening and welcome to Superscreen News at 8, reaching you live from Lagos. I am Olamide Onwuka. Welcome once again. A former aide to the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, Reno Omokri, has slammed the federal government and the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, over the two lists alleged looters released by the administration. The minister had on Sunday circulated a statement containing a fresh list of 23 individuals undergoing trials for alleged corruption. But in a statement titled "The Real Looters That the Buhari and Lai Mohammed administration do not want you to know about," Reno Omokri listed the names of looters under the president's regime. The names listed are as follows: Rotimi Amechi, Aminu Turakai, Impre TB Pre Silva, Motara Nyako, Tanjuma Guje, Abdullahi Mohammed, Orji Kanu, Kayode Fahemi, Joshua Darie, and Babachar Lawal. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has assured Nigerians that the country is already moving out of its challenges under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. Osinbajo, who disclosed this to journalists, said Nigeria is already on the path to prosperity and abundance. The Vice President also said the resurrection of Jesus Christ is a strong and powerful message to the nation in his address to Christians at Christmas Day. He called on all Nigerians to emulate the life of Christian, who sacrificed his life for the salvation of mankind and paid the ultimate sacrifice. Ahead of the 2019 elections, Nigerians have reacted on President Muhammadu Buhari's second-term bid. While some are pleased with the idea, others have different opinions as they called on young Nigerians who aspire for the post of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
As the general elections draws nearer, politicians have been gearing up and making their intentions known on their next political ambitions. While there are informations that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar will be vying for Nigeria's president, Kwakwanso is also reported as making moves to vie for Nigerian president, but the most shocking to Nigerians is the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The president is free to recontest, but I for one does not believe he deserves to be re-elected. Based on appointments, based on the people he's working with, a whole lot. Look at, he campaigned on three cardinal promises: security, economy, and corruption. And on these three scorecards, he didn't score an A on any of them. Insecurity killings are happening everywhere. Anti-corruption, it's, for God's sake, it's just a whole lot of drama going on there. And economy, we see what we're all experiencing.
The whole of this country voted for President Buhari because they felt the time of change has come, hope has finally come to Nigeria. But for some reason that we don't know, that has not been explained to us, they've not been able to perform in some very, very important areas.
So, sir, if President Muhammad is contesting in 2019, are you going to vote for him?
Well, I can't say I will vote for him, and I cannot say I will not vote for him. If I am not going to vote for the sitting president to come back again in 2019, what will be my reasons? And my reasons will be, and why should I vote for a government that has not done well in areas that has affected me?
He doesn't deserve to be president of Nigeria. Why? Because when he was elected, he promised us free breakfast for children in government school. We didn't get that. He promised us a lot of things, but he failed with his promise.
In his manifesto before he was elected as the president of Nigeria in 2015, he said that he's going to do this, do that as per the political party which he came under them. But fortunately, the first term of his tenure, he couldn't achieve anything. Maybe it's the people behind him, or his cabinet, or his member of the house, they couldn't help him, or he's not capable of it particularly. We don't know. But probably the second time, we don't know, since the first time doesn't have an edge. Second time, we don't know what could happen in the second. Maybe the country might be worse than this first time.
I don't want him to go again because he's old.
Who then should be the right person to pilot the affairs of Nigeria in 2019?
A young and responsible person, not only a young but responsible, and someone that can take care of Nigeria.
I'm happy that young, vibrant Nigerians are now coming out to say, I want to vie for presidency. That's good. That's a good sign that Nigeria is beginning to go in the right direction.
We have good people that can run this country, in this country. There are many of them. We don't have to rely on the old brigade.
I think I vote for him because there is no other option as a presidential candidate.
The perception of non-Africans is that African leaders are power drunk. They hold on to power until pressure is mounted on them. They do not vacate the seats of power. Though in Nigeria, the situation has been fair. After all, former President Goodluck Jonathan relinquished power voluntarily, just as his predecessor. It remains to be seen whether President Buhari will succeed with his second-term ambition.
The former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo says it will be foolhardy for Nigerians to reinforce failure by re-electing inefficient and incompetent government in 2019. He warned Nigerians never to be deceived by the reforms being claimed by the People's Democratic Party and other parties in the country. Obasanjo called on Nigerians and President Muhammadu Buhari and the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, to stop giving Nigerians excuses and get down to work to resuscitate the nation's wobbling economy. The former president, who disclosed this to journalists today at the Obasanjo Presidential Library at Abeokuta, said it is uncharitable for President Muhammadu Buhari and his party to continue complaining about challenges after almost 3 years in office, saying the government has failed to confront and solve lingering challenges in the country. A former governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, has formally declared for the July 14th governorship election in the state. The current Minister of Mines and Steel Development said he is persuaded to join the race because of noticeable pangs of poverty, frustrations, and misery of Ekiti people. Fayemi made his ambition known at a news conference after hosting leaders and scores of members of the All Progressives Congress from the 16 local government areas and 177 wards of the state at his Ison Ekiti country home in the Oye local government area of the state. Fayemi is the 35th aspirant to formally indicate interest in the governorship poll on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, APC. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Secondus, has given the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, 48 hours to withdraw a statement against him or face litigation. According to the spokesperson for the PDP chairman, Ike Abonyi, who disclosed this in a statement, Secondus said by lawyer Emeka Etiaba. You will recall that the minister had alleged that the party chairman collected 200 million naira from the Office of the National Security Advisor in 2015. In the letter with reference number dated March 31st, 2018 and addressed to the minister, the party chairman also demanded a retraction apology and payment of 1.5 billion naira as damages. The lawyer alleged that the said publication has damaged the image of Secondus as he has been humiliated, castigated and vilified by many as a result of the falsehood published by the minister. The Nigerian military says at least 15 persons, including a soldier, were killed and about 84 others seriously injured on Sunday night during hours of battle to ward off a large number of armed suicide bombers trying to invade Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Soldiers on guard at the outskirts of Maiduguri also gunned down 6 armed Boko Haram gunmen and 7 suicide bombers during the attack, bringing the death toll on both sides to 29. Residents of Maiduguri were forced to keep vigil all Sunday night, following hours of thunderous explosions and shootings that rented the air till early hours of Monday. The spokesman of the military operation Lafia Dole headquarters, Maiduguri, Colonel Onyema Nwachukwu, said the attackers would have made it into the crowd area of Maiduguri as the troops deployed along attacked access, not repel the soldier. The United Nations International Children Education Fund, UNICEF, has stressed the need for birth control in the country. They said this at an event organized in Benin City, the Edo State capital, where they urged families to plan their births, specifically given the high level of poverty and unemployment in the nation. As example.
Speaking to Edo State people, representative of the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, and Multiple Indicators Cluster Survey, MICS, Adeni Olaleye, said the body is prepared to partner the state governments to educate residents on birth control.
72% of those children were taken to 20% of them were actually tested for malaria before treatment. I think that's a bit understandable. In Nigeria, when child has fever, even before any test, what they do is to recommend treatment. I'm not the medical doctor, but I know that that's being discouraged.
Responding, the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Marianne Abubakar, sought the people's support in finding solution to the problem of childbirth control in the state.
The little challenge is why, I'm sure UNICEF will give us insight into this. Why is it not broken down local government by local government? Because if we know the local government where we're having these challenges, then we know how to, work with the local government chairman to ensure that we bring this percentage to 0. Because as far as this administration is concerned, this government of Governor Obaseki, everything that had to do with the welfare of Edo indigene in terms of negativity is 0%.
Some participants speak on the presentation of the MICS 2017 finding.
This presentation should be documented and categorized so that we can apprehend it. Try to give us opportunity in 6 months' time to see whether what is happening here, whether we are moving up or we are going back. I also think that when we do that, the objective of each, although you call it multiple, we want it to be classified so that it becomes either 1 or 2 surveys joined together or single surveys.
Public awareness on negative effects of childbirth control, labor, and female genital mutilation, cutting must be embraced by all for a better society.
The Senate President, Bukola Saraki, says the Senate has developed 2 draft bills for legislation to tackle the menace of drug abuse in the country. The statement and the bills are the National Drug Control Bill and the National Mental Health Bill. Saraki said the Drug Control Bill seeks to clarify the mandate and strengthen the capacity of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, NAFDAC, and all the relevant law enforcement and regulatory bodies to eradicate illicit production and trafficking of controlled substances. A group under the auspices of Environmental Rights Action, Friends of the Earth Nigeria, and Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, have praised the federal government over the hike of excise duty on tobacco and rates in the newly announced rates, which also affects alcohol. The group also called on the federal government to match its rates with other countries across Africa, saying the new rates still fall short of the World Health Organization's recommendation of prices. You will recall that the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, had said the approval given by President Muhammadu Buhari will take effect from Monday, June 4th, after a 90-day grace period to all local manufacturers.
Many of these, tobacco companies are conniving with some unpatriotic people.
You're watching Superscreen News at 8. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some business stories. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Superscreen News at 8. And on the business scene, figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has revealed that the federal government recorded a fiscal deficit of 2.14 trillion naira in its operation in the 2017 fiscal period. An analysis of the report showed the fiscal deficit for the 2017 financial year was lower than the 2.19 trillion naira recorded in 2016. The report put the total retained revenue of the federal government during the period at 2.76 trillion, while the expenditure was put at 4.9 trillion naira, resulting in overall operational deficit of 2.14 trillion naira. The provost of Osun State College of Education, Ilesha Kolawole Kazim, says the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing has expressed its readiness to build 100 housing units inside the campus of the institution. The provost, who disclosed this to journalists in Ilesha at a press conference, noted that the college had enough land for the project. Kazim said the project would ease accommodation problems amongst its workers, adding that some of them who had been struggling between Ilesha and Osogbo, the Osun State capital, will now have decent accommodation on campus. Telecom companies under the auspices of the Association of Licensed Telecommunication Operators in Nigeria have dragged the National Assembly to court over its incessant summons of their chief executive officers. The companies, which filed a legal action at the Federal High Court in Abuja, also demanded an explanation on the specific nature of information which the National Assembly could lawfully request from private companies. The outing chairman, Benga Debayo, who disclosed this to journalists in Lagos State, said the judicial move became necessary as telecom firm CEOs had become inundated with incessant summons from different committees of the National Assembly. The association also asks for the order of restraining Parliament from serving any further summons on telecommunication companies pending the determination of the suit. The Minister of State for Power, Works and Housing, Suleiman Hassan, says ongoing road projects across the country by the federal government will boost agriculture and also the nation's economy. Hassan, who disclosed this to journalists in Gombe State, said the federal government is committed to improving the roads, rail lines and waterways to enhance economic growth in Nigeria. According to him, a lot of economic activities is also ongoing along the roads apart from creating employment opportunities from the people at the working sites. Still ahead tonight, the former wife of late Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, dies aged 81. These and many more stories coming your way after the break. Welcome back. And on the foreign scene, the former wife of late South African President Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, has died at the age of